Here's how I learned to bet on sports if I were starting from scratch. For context, I have been making a living from betting for 10 years. I've earned over £250,000 and continue to make money every month while helping thousands of people do the same. I made a lot of mistakes along the way which I will save you from with this video. At the beginning, I only bet on events that I thought would happen. For example, I expected Liverpool to win, so I backed a Liverpool win without caring about the odds. I expected over 2.5 goals in a Barcelona match because the previous games had 5 goals, so I placed the bet. Now, I honestly don't care at all what will happen in the match. I only care whether the odds offered by the bookmaker are correct or mispriced, because as you know the cliché is very well, everything is maths. It sounds complicated, but you see now that it really isn't. Let's say the probability of rain tomorrow is 80%. Someone approaches you and offers you £100 if it rains tomorrow. If it doesn't, you give him £100. In odds terms, this is equivalent to 2 to 1, because you double your stake if you win. Would you take this bet? Personally, I might not have before, but now I will take it 100 out of 100 times. Even if it doesn't rain tomorrow, I'll know I made the right decision, because the odds being offered are 2 to 1, which implies a 50% chance, while the real probability is 80%. 80% means that if I place this bet 100 times, it will rain 80 times and I will win £8,000. 20 times it won't rain and I will lose £2,000. So is it worth it? The fact is tomorrow it may not rain, but I don't care, because in the long run I will win. Come back to odds, and 80% probability equals 1 divided by 0.8, which gives you odds of 1.25, while the guy is offering you £100 profit and 100 loss, which we said equals to 2 to 1. That's a bet with mispriced odds. The lesson I didn't know when I started is that you shouldn't care about what happens in the match, but whether you're making good deals, meaning betting on mispriced odds. Because even if you lose 5-10 bets in a row, by always betting on mispriced odds, you will always win in the long run. When I started, I only played accumulators, because first, potential profit was hard. Second, I was betting with £5-10 and it didn't feel worth betting singles. And third, the emotion when winning was many times bigger compared to a singles. Of course, this is the first thing I'll not do if I were starting now. But why? Because with every added match, your chances of winning drop drastically. Naturally, I was always missing just one match and wondering how that was possible. The reason is that with every added match, the chance that at least one bet loses becomes higher and higher. Speaking about accumulators, I will show you how bookmakers actually make money. A lesson I understand far too late. Imagine water flowing through a filter that retains 5% while letting 95% pass. That filter is the bookmaker's commission, the margin. If you add another filter that reduces flow by another 5%, you get 95% multiplied by 95% gives you 90%, meaning 10% of your water is lost. With 3 filters, you're down to 86%. By adding bets to an accumulator, the margin increases, while by playing singles, the margin stays at 5% per bet. Now I think you understand why the main donors to bookmakers are accumulator players. 95% of bookmakers' revenue comes from them. And if someone tells you they win with accumulators, they simply don't keep statistics and only remember the wins. Another thing I used to do at the beginning was bet only on matches shown on TV. Of course, those were the matches I watch, the ones I understand. And having a bet on Liverpool is way more interesting than betting on some match in Morocco, right? Everyone loves betting on what they watch, but if you want to make money from betting, it won't happen on the big matches. I already shared that you need to bet on mispriced odds, not on what you expect to happen. Well, I will hardly find mispriced odds in the Champions League, because everything there is public. Lineups, tactics, strategies, coaching decisions, past events, statistics, and so on. In other words, bookmakers have calculated the probabilities perfectly with their heavy algorithms. And for your average punter, all that's left is to drink a beer after losing a game. What I will change if I'm starting now is to focus on something the public doesn't follow as much, like handball, volleyball, football second divisions, or player fouls in the Premier League. Lower profile props bets, lower profile props markets, but definitely not Champions League goals, Premier League winner, and so on. And how much I love Martingale. After every loss, I double my stake until I win. For example, I bet £10, lose, then 20 pounds, lose again, then 40, win. So I've won 40 pounds but lost 30 pounds, so my net profit is always equal to the first stake, in this case 10 pounds. Later on I realized that is very similar to chasing losses. Emotional betting, increasing stakes when we are losing. Both have one thing in common: you always lose everything at some point. Because no matter how good you are, even the greatest bettor in the world will have long losing streaks, and your bankroll won't be enough. You lose it all. With the first Martingale bet of 10 pounds and 10 consecutive losing bets, your 11th bet needs to be 10,000 pounds. And that's not even counting if the streak continues. What would I change if I were starting now? I would choose my stake based on the money I have for betting. For example, I have 100 pounds and I bet 5 pounds per bet. Regardless of whether I'm losing, whether my bankroll drops to 50 or grows to 200, until it reaches 500 pounds, I keep betting 5 pounds per bet. After that, I increase to 10 pounds. Patience is key. The fifth bad habit I had was not knowing what was actually happening. I deposit money, withdraw, bet with another bookmaker, in a betting shop, and at some point I ask myself, am I actually winning or do I just think I am? Imagine you are in a forest and a fire starts a bit ahead of you. You don't know and you keep walking. A bit later you see it and start running to the right, but the fire has already reached there too. Now imagine you are in a helicopter above the forest. You can clearly see where the fire is, right? That zoom out view is what tracking your statistic gives you. You'll know whether you're winning or losing. What percentage of all staked money are you winning? Filtering your performance by leagues, by markets, and so on helps you improve your bets. For this, again, you need to bet the same amount of every bet. And don't draw conclusions from fewer than 100 bets. That's too small sample and luck can distort the results. With a larger sample of 150, 200 bets, luck's even out, good and bad, and you get fair results that truly reflect whether you are profitable or not. Knowing this removes emotion from winning and losing streaks, because they're just a small part of the game. The next thing I'll change is the bookmakers. Before, I only like bet365 and only bet there, because they have every league and every market. But I realized that on many leagues, Skybet offers better odds. On the others, William Hill. And odds are the prices at which we make deals. If you buy at low prices, you're getting a bargain, right? In this case, low prices mean high odds. By betting with multiple bookmakers, you achieve several things. First, you increase your long-term profit by 20%. Second, you slow down account limiting. And third, you see many more opportunities. In Betano, for example, at one point they had mixed up the names of South American teams. You place a bet, it loses. You message support saying the team name is wrong, and they void the bet, meaning they refute your money. So you had no chance of losing. People in our Discord took great advantage of this bug. Every bookmaker has different opportunities, bonuses, and so on. Because to gain market share, they offer different things and different odds to different target audiences. If I were starting now with 100 pounds, I would deposit around 30-35 pounds into bet365, Betano, and Skybet. At the beginning, I often look for shortcuts, casino, welcome bonuses, attractive bookmaker offers, fixed matches, promises of big profits from the tipsters. All of these are complete bullshit. You can win from the casino. If you take a welcome bonus and win, they will limit you, and you won't be able to clear the wagering and withdraw your money. The more attractive the offer, the more small print it has. Fixed matches are not available online. Promises of big profits or Instagram flexings are scams. Honestly, I've been in sports betting for over 10 years. I've tried arbitrage, bonus hunting, betting software, and all kinds of other strategies, and I'm convinced which strategy is the best and always works. That is value betting. Betting on mispriced odds. It's no coincidence that the owners of Brighton and Brentford in the Premier League became multi-millionaire using it. I've also made a lot of money and continue to do so, but I put my face behind my service with fully transparent statistics for all bets my team sends on Telegram.
A month I can make at least 2,000 euros a month.
The second month of the program, I think I made around 2,000 if I'm not mistaken.
The results were so spectacular, and I said, I want to try all the products, all the groups.
And I've been averaging around 1,500 pounds a month, considering that I'm not spending more than 10 minutes a day.
And why do we sell tips if we make money from them? Obviously because we make even more money that way, but also because we help thousands of others earn the equivalent of a monthly salary. I will leave a link to the channels in the video description.